In the case of New York, we have basically just a statement of irretrievability. All you have to do is say that the marriage is irretrievable and no evidence has to be made. The evidence is your statement.
That's a circular argument.
That's literally what the case is in New York as of 2010. In the case of Texas, and I've looked a little bit into that statute, it basically opens the door to let the judge decide philosophically who he believes. One spouse says, I believe the marriage is irretrievable. One spouse says it's not irretrievable, that it is irretrievable, that it is retrievable. Judge will just decide based on his own philosophical cleavages, or even, like you said, precedent.
Basically in Texas, and I can speak to that a little bit because I'm from there, and I've spoken with good judges, and not one of them will stop it because they say they are under obligation of law to grant a divorce for any reason or for no reason whatsoever. If one person makes the assertion that the marriage is broken down with no evidence, it does not make a difference. Evidence is not needed. In fact, the person could be saying that and be lying, committing perjury, and that's okay. Because the way that our laws are written is all you have to do is make the assertion that the marriage is irretrievable. And in about 75% of the cases in Texas, you've got one spouse who's saying, I don't want the marriage broken, but the other spouse says, yeah, but I do. And if you want me to come up with some other reasons, I can come up with them, but I mean, they don't have to, and they can lie about them.
So what I'm hearing you say is that Texas is very similar to New York in the sense that the statement itself, or the claim that the marriage is insupportable or irretrievable, is enough to obligate the judge to make that decision.
That's exactly correct. So divorce has become an administrative function of a judge. Not that you can't go to trial over certain things, but when you're talking about no-fault divorce, it has largely become an administrative hearing. Right. And basically, you get up there, you answer a couple of questions. It's a procedural thing. Though you may lose half of your property, though you may have child support imposed upon you from a judge, and you may be the person who didn't want the divorce, it does not make a difference. It is a procedural thing, and it's very cruel, it's very unjust, it is horrendous. This is the United States of America, and we're worse than some third world countries, to be honest with you.
And that's one of the reasons that I've taken so much pains at researching this stuff, because when you say an administrative divorce or an administrative hearing, that's exactly what it is. I think people get too caught up in the aftermath of the actual judgment of custody or of financial distribution, but the grounds for divorce is the cause of action. There has to be a cause before you deprive someone of life, liberty, or property.
Right.
So if the root cause is the reason why the divorce is happening to begin with, and that is an administrative function, it actually violates not just the federal constitution, but the state constitutions as well, that says marriage is exclusively under judicial competence and jurisdiction. So even though we're having trials, they turn out to be sham trials as to the actual cause of action, because there's no way that you could say no to a divorce. Constitutions completely prohibit that, and if judges make decisions granting divorces in an administrative fashion, they are acting either in an omission or beyond their judicial capacities, and they are acting in their own individual capacities, not in a judicial capacity.
In Texas, basically what it comes down to, it's all about the distribution of assets. It does not address the fact that the divorce is a forced divorce. Now, nobody in Texas would agree with the idea of having a forced marriage. If these two people are being forced to be married, there's something wrong with that. However, in about 75% of the cases, you have people who somehow think it's no big deal that somebody gets forcefully divorced, that a child or children will be forcefully deprived of having a father and mother living together in the same house, having nurtured by both of his or her parents or their parents. That has become a forced decision. It's forced divorce.
And I like to call it institutionalized divorce.